This is Danny Phone for Seconds Out. We're in Sheffield. We've just had the final press conference for Leigh Wood versus Josh Warrington. It's a pleasure to be joined by Anthony Crolla. It's been a minute since we spoke, but what a fight to come back into. Huge domestic clash. I'm buzzing for it. Talk to us about it.
I don't see how it can be a bad fight. I genuinely don't. It's a contrast of styles, and the atmosphere in there on Saturday night is going to be red hot. And it's one of them where you can make a strong case for both fighters, and that's what always makes these at 50, even though the bookmakers might not say that, and I know Josh isn't too happy about that, and probably rightfully so. They don't suggest that. I think it's a very sort of 50-50 fight.
What do you make of the fact that Josh is 2-1 underdog? Imagine you said that a few years ago.
Yeah, it does seem mad, yeah. I think it's crazy because you're talking about Josh, who's been one of the top British world champions over the past however many years. And last time out, he lost a very close fight to a very, very good fighter in Luis Alberto Lopez, and you've seen what he's done since that. He's been a fantastic fighter in Michael Connolly, beating very comfortable, didn't he? So when you look at that, Josh just comes short. But then obviously that probably speaks a lot about the form that Leigh Wood's in. But then at the same time, you've got to remember just a few fights back, I thought he was boxing brilliant, but he did get caught and he got knocked out against Lara. We know how dangerous he is, but in the rematch, he was punch perfect. He was fantastic. You would think on paper, there's no arguing, Leigh is the fresher man, but I think to say Josh is done and he looks old and he was coming back from that jaw injury. He lost a close fight to a very good fighter in Lopez, so yeah.
A lot of variables, as you say. You can make a case for both men. Am I going to get a prediction out of you?
God, splinters. Do you know what? I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say Josh in the second half of the fight. Listen, I can go, it's not like I'm sitting on the fence going, listen, you won't be surprised if Leigh boxes another, tactically perfect fight and just, he outboxes Josh. And listen, possibly stops him because there's no denying he's a huge puncher. But I believe there's another big night in Josh Warrington, and I think we're going to see it Saturday, but it's such a tough one to call. I think you've got Leigh Wood, who's in the form of his career, and I thought last time I was lucky enough to be working ringside, he looked fantastic against Lara. He made Lara look bang average.
Before we move on, regardless of which way the fight goes, do you think it's the end for the loser?
Do you know what? It depends. The end is in listen, if Josh wins, it's going to be very tough for him to take the army of fans over to America unless he was going to be an opponent for someone, which wouldn't be the same. So his aspirations maybe to be a three-time world champion, be very likely. But then I say it again, it's going to be tough for Leigh Wood as well, because you've got to remember, he's overcome adversity, he's had losses, he's been very active lately, but he's a two-time world champion. Has he got it in him to think, I'm going to do it all again? But he's obviously mentally very strong, because it's looked a few times like he was never going to get to this level, and he's proved people wrong time and time again. So I think there's a lot of similarities in them there, but yeah, there's no denying it is going to be tough for the loser to carry on with their dreams, their aspirations, to do what they want to do.
Just moving on, we've got this big event, fight, whatever you want to call it, between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou coming up. Now, some footage has surfaced over the past week of Francis Ngannou hitting the pads. Now, you've boxed since, God, I don't know what age. You're a trainer now. I know hitting the pads you can only take so much from, but what did you make, or how did Francis look?
Listen, there's no denying. Listen, before those pads work, I said it, this is how I put it. If Francis Ngannou is to beat Tyson Fury next month, I'd go as far as saying it's one of the very biggest sporting upsets of all time. I don't mean boxing, I mean sporting upsets. There's a man who's fighting one of the top heavyweights of his generation, one of the best heavyweights of his generation. Not the best heavyweight of his generation, I think it's fair to say, or thereabouts. Someone who will go down with the top heavyweights of all time, losing to a man making his professional debut. When you break it down, that's what it is. So, yeah, but listen, what you see on the pads, it's not too encouraging that we're going to see the most competitive fight. But you might be trolling us, who knows?
Sticking with Tyson, obviously, we think we might have finally got it, the undisputed fight with Alexander Usyk. Now, there's no date and venue as of yet, but by all accounts, contracts have been signed. First of all, do you think we're finally here?
Yeah, I think we're finally here, because if it wasn't, it'd probably be a little bit embarrassing if it wasn't now. It's been announced and stuff like that. I don't know if we'll see it December or January when it'll get done, but as long as the fight, we get a day set in concrete, I'll be happy. And one of the biggest, if that fight didn't happen, it'd be a crying shame.
You keep sticking it on you with predictions, but what way are you leaning with that one?
Fit and focused Tyson Fury, I believe, is the best heavyweight on the planet, and I believe for Usyk, obviously, he's got to be focused, and I'm going for a Fury win there.
Very last one, then. Obviously, former opponent of yours, two-time opponent of yours, Jorge Linares, taking on Greater Manchester boy and Jack Catterall. When the fight was announced, I think people were saying, like, how much does Linares have left? How competitive a fight is this? Just knowing Jorge, and obviously I'm sure you know Jack to a certain extent, how do you see that fight playing out?
With Jack, yesterday one of my fighters was sparring with him. It's he's a great lad, and obviously listen, Jorge, he's a great lad. I go way back with him. Obviously I know him pretty well. But listen, do you know what? There's no denying when the fight got made, Jorge had lost his last three, and he starts a huge underdog. Jack a huge favourite, rightly so. In a lot of people, he's the uncrowned 140 champion. But I think with Jorge, one good thing, a very promising thing is he's got the old band back together. He's with Ismail Salas, where his best boxing has always been under. I felt that, unfortunately. It was much better under Salas. He's got the old band back together. And I think, listen, there's no denying, you've got to make Jack a big favourite. You've got to, but for 3 or 4 rounds, it can be very dangerous because technically Jack's not this kind of type fighter who'll just run in, steam someone. And when you look at fighters who had success, Lomachenko aside, against Linares, I know I'm going back here, Haney as well, although he did buzz it Haney late on, didn't he? It's been pressure fighters who he's unravelled a bit. So I think for 3 or 4 rounds, technically, it'd be a real high-level chess match, but then you just feel the fresher Jack, will he take over? Heavy-handed Jack as well, very heavy-handed. But yeah, who knows, Jorge might roll back the years. He seems fantastic. I know social media, a lot can go on there, but he seems great in the gym, and he's always a pleasure, someone to watch, technically wise, he's unbelievable to watch. He's very pretty on the eye. I remember when I was fighting, I was a fan before that, and I liked his stuff. But yeah, no, it's big thing, depends what Jorge, how can he roll back the years.
Just with Jack, having seen him in the gym, and obviously we've seen him in a couple of really impressive performances lately, obviously Dara Foley, and then the Josh Taylor fight. How do you see him faring at that 140 division? It's becoming a really hot division. You've got Haney moved up, Prograis.
Jack's one of the top names in that division, but I think he's proved that. There's a lot to like about Jack Catterall. I have been done for years. Not only is he's very stiff, heavy-handed, very cute counter puncher. Defensively, he's very good. He doesn't offer much target whatsoever. So yeah, very, very, very good fighter. Belongs at the top of that division.
And appreciate your time. We'll let you get on. Thanks, mate.
Bye bye.